An object is thrown upward at a speed of 121 feet per second by a machine from a height of 9 feet off the ground. The height h, that's important, of the object after t seconds can be found using the equation h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 121t plus 9. Round all answers to the nearest hundredth. Okay, let's look really quick at this equation. So when we see h of t, this means what is the height after so many seconds, where t is the time. So this is basically our height. Okay, we can think of that, that's our height, and t represents how many seconds have passed. So this first part asks, when will the height be 66 feet? And so we're asking, what is the time, basically, that has passed when the height is 66 feet? And so what we will do here is we'll put 66 in for h. So let's go ahead and do that. We have negative 16t squared plus 121t plus 9, and now equals 66. So we want to solve for t when this happens. Now because we have a quadratic equation here, we want to have everything equal to 0, and so we're going to minus 66 from each side so that we're equal to 0 there. So we have negative 16t squared plus 121t, now minus 57 equals 0. Okay? So we can solve this either by factoring, or we can also do the quadratic formula. And so I think that's what we're going to do here. So if you remember, that's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Can't help but think of the Popped Goes the Weasel song. This can be sung to that. So let's go ahead and label, we have a here will equal the number in front of t squared, which is negative 16. B equals the number in front of t, or positive 121. And C is that last negative 57. Okay, so let's plug this in. So negative b would be a negative 16 or a positive 16 plus or minus the square root of, oh my goodness, I did it wrong. 121. Negative 121, this is why you write it out so you don't make a mistake. So negative 121, because it's negative b plus or minus 121 squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 16, times c, which is negative 57. All over 2a, which is 2 times negative 16. So early in the morning when I'm making this, I can see I already made a mistake. And so this is a good lesson to you too. I'm just going to check over really quick, make sure I've done this correctly. So I do have my a, b, and c correct, negative 16, positive 121, and negative 57. I have negative b, so negative 121 plus or minus b squared, which is 121 squared minus 4 times a, negative 16 times c, negative 57. So I definitely pulled out my calculator for this part, but let's go ahead and keep solving. So we'll have x equals negative 121 plus or minus. Now this part I just did completely in my calculator. So 121 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times negative 57. We can see two of these negatives multiply to be a positive, but we're still left with one negative. So when that all multiplies out, it's 10,993 under the square root over a negative 32. So let's see what we can do with 10,993. Okay, so square root of that is 104.8475. So let's go ahead and write x equals negative 121 plus or minus 104. And it did say round all answers to the nearest hundredth, so I'm just going to round right here. 0.85 divided by negative 32. And then we want to find both of these answers. So negative 121 plus 104.85 divided by negative 32 and divided by. I meant minus. So negative 121 plus 104.85 and negative 121 minus 104.85, both divided by negative 32. Now make sure you remember your negatives there. When we do that, we should get 0.504 and 7.06. And those answers are both rounded to the nearest hundredth, and so those would be the two results that we put here. Now it asks, when will the object reach the ground? And so when it reaches the ground, the height is 0, and so we would do the same thing, except we would put 0 in for h of t, and I will leave that one for you to do. We can do it in a similar way.